Hello everyone, hope you are doing well. So this is unfortunately our last video of the website series, and it is going to be very important to watch because without the knowledge that you will get today, you will not be able to understand all the videos that I will be making and which will be much more profound, much more deep, into self-knowledge. And I will even recommend you to buy a book from Neville Goddard. Okay, so this book, which will appear on your screen, is like the complete works of Neville Goddard, which is for me like I discovered Neville Goddard in 2021, so 2 years ago. It was a life-changing truth. Like it was something that the truth, if you are a truth seeker, it is something that you would be chasing, something which you would be chasing all your life, and then it comes to you. And yeah, Neville Goddard, read that book. It's quite a huge book, but this book contains 10 books, so 10 little books which you can read pretty fast. Anyway, the goal, it's not to read as fast as you can. The goal, it's to discover who you are in the process of reading information, which your mind cannot conceive yet, So you get a new perception of life after reading this book. I cannot tell you more, it's an experience you need to get. And believe me, when you will start reading just the first pages, you will understand what I'm meaning, There is no fluff in Neville Goddard, it's truth thrown at you like in the face, And today we are going to see two articles quickly, and those two are based on the knowledge that I found in Neville Goddard's book. So I think the first one is before this one. Mental diet. Okay, imagination plus faith equal reality. This is the formula from Neville Goddard. Okay. So I said 2 years ago that this is probably the most important post that I will ever write. And if you understand the meaning of it, it is a life changer. This is also one post that may shock the beliefs of most people, especially of those who do not take responsibility for their life. So if you have seen all of my videos on the website, series, this is like, I don't know, maybe 10 times I repeat this, if not more, 20 times. But this is very important, because in order to go on, to advance, the first step is always to take responsibility for everything that happens in your life. Otherwise, if you put the responsibility in someone else's hand or in an external God or whatever, then you have no power to change your life, You have no power. And if the power is not in you, it is in someone else, then you cannot do anything. You are just a victim of life, But here at Elysium Trading Empire, we are not victims. We are powerful human beings which can decide the course of our life, And that's it. So let's start with our basic quote from Napoleon Hill: whatever your mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. While this quote is totally true, we need to get into a deeper level of understanding, to know what it really means. So whatever you can conceive in your imagination and believe faith, you can achieve. Imagination plus faith equal reality. Faith. First, let's be clear about what faith means. For most, faith is believing without seeing. On the surface, that's true. But here, we are interested to go deeper for understanding. According to Neville Goddard, faith is loyalty to the unseen reality. Loyalty means to continue to see, and the unseen reality means something which your senses deny, which your eyes can't see. But, even though you are blind, you still have imagination and you still can picture things inside your head, If you close your eyes right now, I'm sure you can picture yourself in the room, you can picture your phone in your hand, whatever, So you are still seeing. So therefore, faith is continue to see in your imagination which your senses cannot believe to be true. In other words, faith is seeing without your senses believing. Oh, so this is mine. This is not from Neville Goddard. I just reverse, the words. This is my way of understanding the word faith, So you must continue to see even though your eyes are closed, You must continue to see something which you want, This is faith. Even though the reality does not show what you want, in your eyes, you can see in your, inner eye or inside your head, you can still see it. And believe it to be true, of course. So can you believe in something which you do not see in your imagination? People believe in God while they don't see it or him or, in the physical world, because they can see it in imagination. No one believes in something which he cannot see in his imagination. But you can believe something which you cannot see physically, This is faith. So before giving you any examples which may clarify all this to you, I will define what I mean by imagination. Imagination, it's not only the image, So a simple way to define imagination is to look around you. Yes, right now, look everything around you, all the objects. You are probably reading this from your computer or your phone, using the Wi-Fi or the 4G or the 5G, nowadays. Sitting on a sofa or at your desk. All the objects that you have seen around you or using right now, all these were created by human imagination. All these were not physically true, but they were true in someone's mind before it was true, physically. Before the phone was made, it was imagined. It was once imagined, And the one who created it, for him, it was true, in his head. If he would tell someone, yes, I want to create a phone, people will laugh at him and saying he's foolish, to call someone who is 1,000 kilometers away, and hearing his voice. He must have been crazy, called crazy back at the time. You couldn't imagine, such thing. But he imagined this, and he had faith in this imagination. And therefore, now you have iPhones, you have everything, etc. So this is what, before they were real to you, they were real in someone's imagination. So before you could see in the real world what Neville calls the 3D, They could see it in the imaginative world, called also the four-dimensional world. This is what Neville means when he affirms that imagination creates reality. And even more, he says that imagining creates reality. The fact that you imagine at every second, it creates your current reality, your future reality. What you imagine now, you bring to yourself later. Later, it can be instantaneous. It can be in a day, in a week, in a year, you know. It depends on how much emotions, how much belief you put in this imagination. And so, you know, talking about, I don't want to enter into religion, but, you know, Jesus Christ used to do, you know, some miracles, and it was instantaneous because his face was perfect to his unseen reality, you know, to his imagination. Therefore, every manifestation, what we call manifestation, was instant. And so this is our power, you know, as human beings. And yeah, let's continue. Everything that you can see, hear, touch, or feel comes from imagination. Therefore, anything you can imagine to be true, you can manifest into the real world. I will go even more deeper. Everything you currently imagine to be true is manifesting in your current world. You are sick, poor, and in a toxic relationship, you manifested it. I know it's a hard truth to bear, but this is the truth. Imagining has to not to be conscious. And I would say that 99% of the time, it is unconscious. So you see, you are constantly imagining, whether consciously or unconsciously, but most of the time unconsciously. So your goal should not to be should be to imagine consciously as often as you can your desired reality. Why it is 99% of the time unconscious? Because, you know, your mind is running on autopilot. So you are just getting from one idea to another idea. You are imagining one scene to another scene. You are imagining, you know, even the inner talking is imagining, you know, when you talk to yourself, it's like a kind of imagination. It's not only pictures, it's words, it's hearing, seeing, you know, all this you are imagining most of the time unconsciously. And you know, you are not just deciding, yeah, I want to imagine this right now, you know, but your goal should be to do that, to try to consciously imagine what you want. So I'm not your guru, neither I'm trying to convince you that this is the only truth and that you should listen to no one else, you know. So to know if something is a lie or not, you have to put yourself to the test. You know, nothing is better than testing someone's assumption. So imagine one thing at a time, that you are healthy, rich, or in perfect relationship, depending which is lacking in your present reality. Imagine this every night prior to sleep and see if there is no results in your life. So every night, you know, just before closing your eyes, I mean, you start closing your eyes and you start picturing what you want, a scene, you know, of what you want in life. And you will see the days later, you will see some things manifesting in your life. It can be the thing you desired, or it can be something related to it. It really depends on how you use your imagination. It's not something easy to do, you know. So this seems simple, but the difficulty lies in the fact that you have to persist in this image, despite your senses denying it until it comes true. Many give up after 2 or 3 days, or even the day after, when they have a conflict with their partner, or when they see their bank account is in negative. So this is a hard thing to do. It's to be loyal, you have to be loyal to what you have imagined. This, it's like you have two truths. You have the truth of the physical world and the truth of the imaginative world. And you have to be loyal to one of them. And of course, you have to be loyal to your desired reality, which is in the four-dimensional world. So let's say you imagine to be rich, the simplest example. You cannot be loyal to this reality if you are checking every second, your bank account and seeing, it's still in red or still at zero, No, you must imagine when checking your bank account that it is filled with, I don't know, $2 million or whatever. And therefore, it generates a feeling of ease, of abundance, etc. And so you see, what you imagine brings feelings. When you imagine the worst case scenario, you are bringing to yourself bad feelings. And when you imagine the best case scenario, you are bringing to yourself a good feeling, abundance, etc. And that's why Neville used to say, this is the title of one of his book, feeling is a secret, because you have to entertain a feeling which, it's like a message to your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind knows is your emotional mind, it understands feelings. So if you bring it good feelings to your head, even though your reality is not, what you want right now, it will work towards that good feeling. It doesn't matter your current reality, because in Neville Goddard's teachings, current reality is only, past imagination. So therefore, you are like in the past, Your past imagination brings your current results. Therefore, to change your current results, you have to be loyal to your current imagination, current scenario in imagination, which brings your future results. Okay. So I don't know, maybe that's too hard for you to understand right now. Like I'm explaining it from understanding, So for me, it's easy to understand. But probably 2 years ago, you would have told me something like this. I wouldn't have understood it. Or that's why I insist that you buy the book and you read it. Take your time, and it's really worth, it's really worth, like in time, in money, in whatever. It will change your life. So just one book, I don't recommend books every video I do, but there are some books, because I've read dozens and dozens and dozens of books, but there are some that I recommend really to buy, like James Allen, As a Man Thinketh, etc. So you might find the links to the books in my description, okay? So you can check it out. So now, imagination plus faith equal reality. Let's take a quick example to see how we can, through the power of imagination, mixed with faith, create our reality. The easiest examples are always about money or relationships, because this is where most people struggle. But these are the most difficult to manifest, not because it requires more effort. You can manifest $1 million with the same technique as to manifest a bicycle, but because we are emotionally attached to these two. We are so attached that for us, it's hard, to believe. The face part is very hard. And emotions, reaction to your current reality, is contradictory to your desired imagination. So even though you imagined yesterday that you had 1 million in your bank account, now you went to buy or to pay your taxes or to buy something at the supermarket. Now there is inflation, and so you are, blaming the government and the world and etc. And you are going into lack. Talking about lack, imagining lack, bringing lack to your life. So rich people, they don't talk about lack. If you have seen my video about money, rich consciousness versus poverty consciousness. What I mean by that is you cannot imagine being wealthy prior to sleep and the morning after complain that you have not enough money to do something. So you cannot fool your subconscious mind. It will take what you believe the most naturally for true, the most naturally, and bring it in your reality. So if you complain every day that you are broke, do not expect things to change. And no one is going to change you and make you rich. Make no mistake about it. The change comes always from within. As within, so without. Remember the video from the inside out, always. So I will take the example of manifesting a bicycle. You can take whatever object you desire to possess, which you are not emotionally attached to begin with. Always bring something easy. So, even for example, you can manifest a flower, a rose, and just, you don't care about the rose, but just to prove that this is true. What Neville Goddard is saying is true. So I desire to have a bicycle, but I don't have the money for it. What can I do? Every night prior to sleep, I go into my imagination and I imagine myself riding this bicycle, enjoying life on a sunny day, going to make a picnic somewhere I love to go, and pick a real place you have been to, because it makes it easier to believe, but you can pick a place that you imagine too if you're comfortable with it. So imagine the same scene every night until you fall asleep, okay? So you must sleep while doing this exercise, no? You keep doing the same scene over and over and over again until you sleep. You do this for at least 3 nights, and you will see what happens later. After you stop doing it, you stop doing this scene after 3 nights and you see what happens. And so it's better if you have an interaction, with someone. For example, let's say you ride into the village, you can say hi to someone you know, and this person replies to you, "Wow, what a wonderful bicycle." You have to make this scene as real as it would happen in reality. This will help with the belief, So you are not separated from your imagination. You are like fusing with it. If it appears, too fancy or fantasy, you will get into a feeling of separateness, between what you imagine and the reality. It must feel real to you. So if you receive this bicycle tomorrow, what's the first thing you would do? Who would you show it to? And what would be the reaction? Now that you have your scene and you play it every night, what's the next step? Well, the only thing now is to stay faithful to your imagination. You should never feel, say, or think that you do not have the object of your desire. Very important. Never feel, say, or think that you do not have the object of your desire. The difficulty can also come from people asking if you receive that object or something like this. This is why it is very important to never say what you desire the most to people. Never. before it happens into your reality. Otherwise, they will keep asking you and they will raise doubt in you. Doubt and fear are what will stop your image from coming into reality. Be very careful. If you are questioning yourself, why didn't you receive yet? When is it coming to manifest? Does this actually work? This also means that you are not faithful, because the faithful never question things. You know, you have to adopt this attitude, like almost arrogant, you know? Like you do not question. This is true and this is it, okay? This is a true attitude, you know, because you are not really arrogant, but, you know, you are bold. That's it. That's the word is bold. You are bold. You are staying still to your assumption, to your imagination. Therefore, you cannot bring what you are supposed to already have into reality. This is also important because you must question yourself if you are in state of lack or in state of having what you want. This is it. If you are trying to manifest from a state of lack, so I'm not having my bicycle, where is it? You are lacking. So you are saying, what are you saying right now? You are saying to your subconscious mind, I do not have it yet. And so you are postponing the manifestation. On the contrary, if you imagine that you have it yet, you enjoyed it, etc., you have talked about it to no one, and you know you are manifesting from a state of desired reality. Okay, so you are faithful. Protect your dreams and desire, live in the imagination, and stay faithful to it, because your current reality is nothing more than a manifestation of your past imagination. That's what I have said earlier. Your current reality is nothing more than your past imagination. And your today imagination brings your tomorrow reality. I'm still here. I just want you, you know, just want this truth to hit you. And sometimes the better thing is to stay silent to the truth, to let it, you know, penetrate your subconscious mind, your being, you know. So you have nothing else to do than to impress your subconscious mind with your imagination and to stay loyal to this image. This is a quick example. But if you want to manifest more complicated things, you can manifest everything without doing anything but applying this law, which is a law of assumption. To know the process, or to simply understand what scene you can make in order to bring your desire to reality, I recommend you to read more about Neville Goddard. Okay? So if you still have some question, whatever, do not hesitate to ask in the comment section. I would be happy to reply, you know. And so let's move on to the other article, mental diet, very important. So you see the image, I don't know if it's here, no, just the thumbnail image. This is Qui-Gon, you know, in Star Wars, saying your focus determines your reality. So you see, I'm sure George Lucas knows about manifesting stuff, and you know, he knows what he's talking about. This does not come from nowhere, you know. Mental diet. This is the time of the year, so in June 2021, where most people go on diet and want to show their best body on the beach. This is a good thing as you work hard to show up your best. But this is only rearranging the surface. What's more important than the surface is the inside, because as within, so without. And here we will talk about going on a mental diet. What does it mean to be on a mental diet? Well, like a regular diet, it means that you have to watch carefully the food that you are putting in your mind instead of your body. By food, we mean everything that you affirm to be true. Man lives not by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds out of the mouth of God. Matthew. So the mouth of God is the mind of man, in the words of Neville Goddard. When referring to the law of attraction, we talk a lot about affirmations, and we mentioned it multiple times in our previous articles, but we never really defined it. Many people affirm, few are successfully affirming. This is mainly because they don't understand the concept of affirmations. Affirming is not just saying words out loud and trying to believe those words. You are affirming 24 hours non-stop with your mental conversations. Everything you think, act upon, and say is an affirmation. So if you affirm, I'm rich during 10 minutes in the morning, but act and think during your whole day like you are still broke, what will your mind take for true? You know the result. We have just talked about it. So remember, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Thinking is nothing but talking to oneself. You think every minute of the day, consciously or unconsciously, and your outside world is nothing more than the reflection of your inner talking. Your outside world, so your physical world, is nothing more than the reflection of your inner world, your inner talking. Do you understand? Being on a mental diet is the same as a regular diet. You have to eat good food and not fall for temptations, and there will be a lot. If you don't discipline yourself, you will start falling for temptations. And this is the end of your diet. The same goes for your mind. You have to pursue a definite aim, or your mind will wander. You know, this is why we talked about focus. And wandering it's every negative suggestion. Discipline your mind. This is the most important thing in the world, as everything that goes in your mind manifests in your world. You know, because everything you eat only manifests in your body. But now we are talking about everything in your world, not just your body. Everything that goes into your mind manifests into your world. Why a mental diet? If you live right mentally, everything else will be right. By a change of mental diet, you can alter the course of observed events. But unless there is a change of mental diet, your personal history remains the same. To attempt to change the world before we change our inner talking is to struggle against the nature of things. You see every word from him, it's like, I don't know how to describe it. It's pure magnificence. It's God-given words. It's beautiful. Unless you change your mental conversation, you will always repeat the same mistakes and live the same life. Most people wait for a miracle, something outside themselves, to change their life, failing to realize that they are the only one who can change it. Each time you say, I am unlucky, you are bringing more misfortune to you. When I say you say, it's you say inwardly or outwardly, you know. People think that what they say inside themselves is not, it's not, people do not hear it. In fact, yeah, maybe people around you do not hear it, but your subconscious mind does hear it. God does hear it. And it is more important than the people around you, believe me. So if you think bad about someone, even though you do not say it out loud, you are bringing the same vibration, you know, you are bringing the vibration of saying something bad about that person. And that person, even though she didn't hear what you said, she can feel what you think about that her, you know, it's like telepathy. And so each time you are thinking that you can't afford what you want, you are bringing more lack into your life. Now, this may be scary, and you might start stressing over everything you say. But don't worry, you have already affirmed those all your life, and you are still alive. The positive side is that you can change your mental conversations at any moment. And the more you affirm abundance, health, and the things you desire, the more you would bring them into your life. So just come back to something I said earlier. You must check that your mental conversations are aligned with what you want, with your desired reality. You must be aligned mentally in a state of already having those things. If you are thinking from a state of lack, like, for example, something simple, for example, I will be a millionaire soon. Your mind does not understand this as, you know, does not understand time. I will be a millionaire soon is a confession that I am not yet a millionaire. You see how tricky is it? This is the trick, you know? You have to live from the place of already having the things you desire. And from there, you can have new conversations. If you are already rich, you are not having the conversation of getting into the rich lifestyle. No, you are already in it. Now, you decide what you want to do with that money. Or, you know, you start thinking about what you would do with this money now because you have it already. So can you change your life all around just by changing words? Of course you can. But for sure, someone who is pessimistic, who complains a lot, who takes no responsibility for his life, and who has absolutely no faith in himself will struggle as the start. The same goes for people who start a regular diet and ate nothing but junk food during 10 or 15 years, and they didn't do any sport for a long time. So the start is always harder for someone who has given up, you know, on eating right and on doing sports, etc. So then someone, you know, who was used to it, but he stopped doing this for 6 months, let's say. So if you don't start now, you are still getting more in debt. And the later you start, the more you will be in debt and the more it will be difficult. So whether it is a regular diet or a mental diet, it's the same. The more it is difficult, the more it is discouraging. And this goes until you end up in big troubles, which life will force you, you know, to do those things because you will get cancer, will get, you know, bad stuff. If you don't do it by yourself, with your will, then life would pressure you because you have a mission in life. And not everyone's mission is to be fit, etc., you know, but if there is a desire knocking inside your head, you know, at the door of your head, it means it means you should accomplish it. Not every desire, you can have some daily, could say daily desire. Oh, this thing is beautiful, I want to buy it. So this is not real desire. This is more overconsumption. Society's society's conditioning. But if you have the same desire knocking at the door for days, weeks, months, years, you must listen to it and start working today before it gets very hard. So the perfect time to change is not next week, not tomorrow. No, it is now. Now, today. How to go on a mental diet. Everything you continuously say in your mind produces its reality. Therefore, if you want to change someone, start to see and to talk about him differently in the way you want to see that person. If you want to change your circumstances, watch carefully what you say every day to yourself and to others. And change your conversations to match your ideal. In other words, to change something, take your attention away from it and think of what your ideal would be in that situation. You replace the current situation with your ideal one, and you think from that place. You talk from that place. You feel from that place. Going on a mental diet is not some specific technique. It is an everyday job. These are some advice to you. The first step is to try to be more conscious of your mental conversation. This is the first step. Try to be more aware of what is going inside your head. Most of your inner talking, or even your outer talking, are done unconsciously. You are not conscious of what you are saying inwardly and outwardly. This is because our brain is lazy and will use the program that we have fed him since we were born. Try to catch your negative thinking patterns and stop as much as you can saying, affirming, or believing things that are not for your best interest. For example, let's say you go, I will try to take something easy to understand. Let's say you want to take the taxi, and each time you need it, it's gone away, or the bus, you try to catch the bus, and each time you come 2 minutes late, something like this. And what's your reaction? Your immediate reaction is, oh shit, again, I always come late 2 minutes, or again and again, this is my fate. Like, you take it like a fate. This is always the same. But if you want to change it, you must change the conversation within. It's hard to do it, because if you have just missed the bus, of course, you are so used to react immediately that you will fall for the same reaction and repeat the same story over and over and over and over again. But notice, if you start just being aware of this and start changing the conversation and saying, okay, today I caught the bus 5 minutes early, and this is going to be the same tomorrow and every day after. And you will see, maybe not tomorrow it will happen, but a few days later it will happen, believe me. So Confucius said, he who says he can and he who says he can't are both usually right. And this is not only a catchphrase, The second step, so the first step is to be aware. The second step is to change those negative conversations and to revise them into your ideal. What would you say were you or had you the things you desire, Would you not say, I'm so lucky if you won the lottery? The third and most important step is to persist in the wish fulfilled. This is the most difficult part. It's, let's say, to be conscious of it, you will get, because once you start understanding, the laws of life, you start getting more aware of what's going on. Also, to revise something is easy, to say, oh, instead of saying, I'm unlucky, I'm lucky, it's easy to say it. But to persist in it is more difficult. Whatever you desire, you already have. And you think, talk, act like it is done. It is done. Not tomorrow, not in 5 minutes. It is already done. It's the past already. If you fail to do this at a particular time, go back to step 2 and revise your saying and your action. So, it's a work. Huh? You have to keep working in everything you say. You notice, what you say, what you think, how you feel. Every time you notice that you are feeling or saying or feeling something wrong, you revise it. And so you are keeping a constant mood, you are building momentum, constant mood of having your desired reality. Sorry, 2 seconds. I'm back again. So yeah, you are building momentum of good feelings and good things you desire, etc. Good thinking, good sayings, etc. You will see change in your life very soon. So last step is to feed your mind with everything positive you could think or say. Daily gratitude is very recommended. And I will recommend you to watch my video about how I practice real gratitude and not just saying I'm grateful for this, I'm grateful for that, which at the time I was doing. In 2021, I was making daily lists of what I was grateful for. But this is not, even though it's good, because it brings you, the awareness of gratitude, the feeling of gratitude, it's not enough in the sense that it's still surface, we want to work inside, not just surface. And for things to be, to be working on the long term, they have to be built on a good base, strong base, not just on surface. And so check my video about how I practice real gratitude. Okay, it's a short video. So even for the little things, at least the little things always bring bigger ones when you are thankful for them. Yeah. Success is in the little things, the little details that you do every day that normal people, average people don't do. And those are the one that counts the most, I don't know if you are working out, but the reps you do on the bench press and whatever, it does not matter that you have made your 10 reps count. What matters is to make each rep count. And the last reps are usually the one you grow from. Not the first 10, but the last 1 or 2 extra rep where you give it all, you give it all. Those are the 2 reps that you grow from. The 10 reps before are nothing, just, a warm-up for your muscle, you know. And if you stop at the warm-up, you say, okay, I arrive at 10, I can do maybe 2 or 3 more, but 10 was the count, I'm done. Then you won't be seeing any progress, you know. You have to go for the extra mile each time, extra rep. So of course, without harming yourself, you know, it's not, the goal is not to harm yourself. So also remember to say thank you for the things you have. So when you are in the wishful field, you say thank you for your desire as you already have it, even though it is not yet in your reality, and it will manifest into your physical reality. This is also a trick, you know, when doing some gratitude, you say thank you for the thing, even though it is not yet in your reality, since you are living now from the desired reality, from your imagination, it is done, right? So you can say thank you for it because it is already done. And it works well in bringing your manifestation into reality. But, you know, this is a deep subject. I want to do some conclusion about it because this is very important. There are many people going into manifestations. You have many groups on Facebook, many books on it, many, you know, you can fall in this trap of doing things for the sake, for the wrong intentions, not necessarily the wrong intentions. I don't know how to say it, but now that I have grown, you know, went into higher state of consciousness, to be honest, I don't even do all this stuff right now. I mean, the mental diet, I keep aware of what I'm saying, everything. This I do, you know, but I'm not in the process of trying to manifest things because, you know, you need to understand the process. But if you are getting too far into the manifesting things, and so you are trying to manifest something to appear into your reality so you can enjoy these things in reality, in fact, you are operating from a state of lack if you think about it a minute, because you are trying to make things appear in your reality. Therefore, you are operating from a state of not having, and therefore, you are bringing bad, you know, bad vibration, bad feeling. Because if it does not appear in a week or two, you will get mad, you know, at it. The process must be enjoyed more than the reward for this to work. So you must enjoy more the fact of doing the manifestation than, you know, the results you want from it. Otherwise, it won't work. It will be a big block, you know, for your manifestations. And, you know, I've been doing it for 2 years now. I have manifested some very incredible things. Some things were instantaneous. Some I struggled hard to manifest. Took me months, weeks, months, even a year. But at the end, you must get into the spiritual path, you know. This is another subject, and this video, the next video will be about the spiritual path. But what's important, you must start detaching yourself from, you know, from the results of this reality. I mean, reality is important, but not as much as we give it importance, you know. You must start giving more importance to character, you know, you are building, to doing things for the sake, you know, of humanity, of other people, rather than chasing you know, your own profits, your own goals, etc. It's good to have goals, it's good to have a vision, but it's good to chase success if you want, but you must do it, you know, with an attitude, a spiritual attitude, you know, of sharing it with others, of not harming others, you know. And I think this is the most essential part of these teachings. And even though Neville Goddard often mentioned, you know, the golden rule in his book, you know, the golden rule is don't do to others what you don't want to be done unto you, you know, or do to others what you want others to do to you. So do the good, you know, and don't do the bad, in other words. But we all know instinctively what is good or bad, you know. Yeah, I think this year I have shifted, you know, from wanting the things, you know, my personal goals, etc., you know, being too focused on myself. And now I try to be more focused on what I can give to people, you know, along the way of my personal achievements. So that's it. I won't talk too much because I think it's already a long video. And but everything I'm saying, for me, it's important to say, you know, I'm just not talking just for talking, you know. You must hear what I'm saying and try to understand so you can get quicker, you know, into the path, quicker than me. That's the purpose of my videos, you know, so you can get quicker to your awakening, to your goals, to your vision, whatever, you know. So thanks for watching, and you will see next video I will be bringing a lot more deep stuff. Maybe I will delay it, I will not release it soon, you know, because I want people to study these things before going into deeper things, you know. If you can, buy the book right now and start reading it, okay? Otherwise, you will get lost. I promise you. The teachings that I will be unveiling are much more difficult than what we have seen until now. And I try to simplify them as much as I can, believe me, so everyone can understand. Thanks for watching.